We all set? Yep. We all set? Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order with a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our service men and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 9th day of December, 2024 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Alisi.
Here.
Minoha.
Here.
Roberts. Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Okay, John, if you would do the approval of minutes, please.
I move the following minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to corrections if necessary. September 7th, 2024, October 29th, 2024, November 14th, 2024, and November 25th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Now I got to do roll call.
call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Alisi.
Yes.
Minoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask my colleagues to stand as we get to thank and say goodbye to one of our members, Councilman Anoha. We wish to present Christian Anoha for his distinguished service rendered as a member of the Saraville Borough Council from 2022 to 2024, fixed with the Kennedy O'Brien as mayor, Borough Council Daniel Balca, Michael Kalasi, Donna Roberts, Stanley Sinarski, and John Zabrowski. Christian, I wish to thank you for your service and wish you good travels in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Dan? Well, you're not, we get to embarrass you here. Go ahead, Councilman.
Christian, it's been an honor to serve the residents of Saraville with you, and I wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors.
Councilman Kalasi?
As we gather for your final meeting, Councilman Anoha, I want to acknowledge your time and efforts during your tenure. While there have been challenges and differences in our approaches, I believe it's important to recognize the commitment it takes to step into public service. So your departure marks a new chapter for our council and our community. We are committed to continuing the work of serving our constituencies with dedication and transparency. So I wish you the best in your future endeavors and hope that you find success and fulfillment in your next steps.
Councilman Zabrowski?
Christian, I can't really comment on you without also commenting about Eunice as well, because you came together and you made quite an impact on our council as a team. One thing that struck to me is when I was still chief, when both you and Eunice came, and maybe had preconceived notions about how law enforcement worked, but you worked very hard and diligently with me and my staff to understand exactly how we work. We did things in Saraville and why. And I appreciate that. And I learned a great deal as well from both you and Eunice. So I wish you nothing but the best and great luck in all your endeavors in the future.
Councilman Sinarski?
I want to thank you personally for your service. I've only worked with you fortunately for 1 year, but I treat this as just a chapter in a book. So I feel you did a great job in that chapter. Now you can close that chapter, move on to your next adventure, and I wish you luck with your next adventure.
Councilman, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Steve Mayor. All my colleagues, just want to express to you that it's a heartfelt gratitude when I look back on this term of service. And for those that I've had the opportunity to make myself available to, to serve, even those online, those in person. Thank you for the privilege and opportunity to make myself be relevant to you in any way. If I've been able to serve and do a good job, cool. If I haven't, I sincerely apologize. Hopefully I can use that experience to add to my skill set and see if I can find another way to be of impact to you, this community, and abroad in due time. So thank you again for the opportunity. Those who I got along with the most, those who I got along with the least, you are still part of the experience. So I'm grateful that it still took place. So thank you and cheers to you all as well.
This time we'll go into executive session. No executive session. All right, old business, please.
Just want to report that I received a resolution from the Saraville Planning Board following a meeting on December 4th, 2024, approving the following ordinance and referring it back to the Borough Council, 52-24, amending the Hercules redevelopment plan. Just need a motion to receive and file that.
John,
Make a motion to receive and file?
there a second?
Second.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Kolisi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Okay, public hearing on the following ordinances. Ordinance number 50-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance addressing lead paint inspections.
This time I'm going to open the public portion for questions and comments on this ordinance. Are there questions or comments? Being no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Zabrowski.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Kolisi.
Yes.
Enoha.
Yes.
Roberts.
yes,
Sinarski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 51-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance regarding Environmental Commission.
This time I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on ordinance 51-24. Are there any questions? Thank you. To entertain a motion, Council President Roberts.
I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes,
Falca.
Yes.
Kolisi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance number 52-24, an ordinance amending the Borough of Saraville Hercules redevelopment plan.
This time I'm going to open the public portion. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. I would ask somebody up here to please explain what this ordinance does. In particular, does it take into account the connector road realignment that I had suggested a few years ago when this was before the planning board, and if phasing is impacted? Thank you.
Yeah, I can answer that. Oh, hold on. Yes, I can answer that question. This is in fact the connector road. It is the red line. They're adopting the red line as the option as a result of a lot of back and forth with both the parties as well as environmental. It is not necessarily a phasing. It is a phasing in that no C of Os can be issued until that road is completed.
Okay, and is that the line bring the connector road closer to Bordentown Avenue?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, which is what I had suggested a couple years ago, a few years ago, and it was rejected by the board at that time. Okay, I think that's a step in the right direction. And no C of O can be issued until when, Councilman? Until the road is complete? And that is a CO for which section? 2 or 3?
Three? Three.
3. But section 2 can be constructed before the road is completed.
My understanding is that sections should be completed in the order of 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
Okay, so it would be after the completion, would be after C of Os for 3, which would be actually second. in line.
Okay, of course, I should have known that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Are there any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion. Councilman Zabrowski.
I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda, I'm sorry. I move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
second,
Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Balka.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance 53-24, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 3-24, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
This time I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there any? There being none, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Balka.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balka.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance 54-24, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance 40-23, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
This time I'll open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Are there any? Being none, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman Balka.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Councilpersons Balka.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Noha.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Public hearing on ordinance 55-24, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, ordinance addressing parliamentary procedure during council meetings and partially modifying ordinance 29-24.
This time I'm going to open the public portion. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everyone, for this attempt to partially correct the injustice you did when you limited the public's rights earlier in the year. It is amazing what an election can do, isn't it? I know that Mary Novak's first order of business in January was going to request some changes. So while I know this is being done for political reasons now, I thank you just the same. And I also want to thank Councilman Anoha and Councilman Balka for being on the right side of this issue from day one, because you opposed these original changes from the beginning. Interesting, I was talking to a friend in Edison a few weeks ago where they reduced speaking time from 6 minutes to 4 minutes. And I said to him, just wait, we'll be going back to 5 minutes after the election. Well, lo and behold, here we are. So I appreciate it. Now, does this, I don't know, I'm sorry, I had this in the form of a question which isn't allowed. Does this ordinance allow speakers to be called upon for a second time only at the mayor's discretion? And I ask this because we remember an incident a few months ago where the president of the Historical Society, who's here tonight, wanted to speak about Operation Snow Cone, where volunteers curated and preserved letters from World War II soldiers. And the mayor wouldn't allow him to speak a second time to discuss this project. And this is a project that is pretty important to the residents of Saraville and to our veterans. And under this ordinance, it appears to me that the mayor, at his sole discretion, would still be able to deny a speaker, even somebody talking about something as important as Frank was talking about. Is that the case? And I hope it isn't the case, okay? And does this ordinance allow residents, senior citizens, others who don't like to drive at night, those who are disabled, those who are ill, or others, does it allow them the right to participate in meetings by Zoom, as we previously had until January when a lot of things changed? So under this amended ordinance, will people be allowed to participate by Zoom? Does this ordinance provide that the mayor and council will answer questions at these meetings? I know this is a tiny step in the right direction, and I appreciate it, but we can do better. At both the Veterans Day celebration out front and at Pearl Harbor the other day, at the Pearl Harbor celebration, veterans came to me and said, keep fighting for our right to speak and have our questions answered. Now, we know in the last few months, meetings are averaging about 30 minutes. So this may extend them by 10 minutes, which is about 20 more minutes a month. That's not really a lot of time for elected officials to give to the residents. The last election showed the public can't be fooled by disingenuous gimmicks. When you take away 3 or 4 important basic rights the public has enjoyed forever, you can hardly expect to get much credit for returning one of them. I think the people would like the Zoom participation. I think the people would like you to be answerable to the people. And residents have the right to speak twice by ordinance, not at the whim of whoever is the mayor. And I ask the ordinance be amended to include those provisions. Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions? Being none, I'll entertain a motion. Council President.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
There a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Falca,
Yes.
Parisi,
Yes.
Enoha,
I'm going to vote no. I think that we should add the suggestions that our resident,
Zinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Public hearing on ordinance 56-24, ordinance of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, New Jersey, authorizing the execution of a financial agreement by and between the borough and CPMD Journey Mill Road Urban Renewal LLC pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law NJSA 4820-1 et sec.
This time I'm going to ask Anthony and Verso to come up to go over this, please. Come on up, Anthony.
Phoenix Advisors of Finance.
If you would introduce yourself into the record, please.
Absolutely. Hi, good evening. Anthony Inverso from Phoenix Advisors. We're the municipal advisor to the borough, working on the pilot analysis. So I'm going to be very brief, and if there's any questions, I can go into more detail. But this project is an approximately 250,000 square foot cold storage warehouse facility that will be located on borough-owned landfill. They are purchasing the property for about $20 million. Currently, that property generates only $10,000 a year in total taxes, about which the borough receives about 27% of that. Going forward, under this pilot agreement, the project would generate about $350,000 to the borough, and that would increase over time. There are 3 tests that we put into the pilot, 3 different calculations to determine the appropriate amount to be paid, which is one's based on a percentage of revenue from the facility. One is based on an amount per square foot of the facility. So just in case the revenue is not exactly where the expectations would be, the owner will still pay something based on the facility that they're building. And then there are certain statutory required minimums that by law have to be put in to the agreement. So each year we'll look to those 3 items, and the greatest of the 3, the amount of the greatest of the 3 would be what the developer or the property owner would pay under the pilot agreement. It's important to note that the pilot's only on the improvements, only on the facility. Taxes will still be paid on the land, and we would expect that the land value will increase now that there's something usable on the site as opposed to the existing landfill. And then those regular taxes would be split among the borough, school, county, so on and so forth. And then there might be a second phase to this project going forward if the first phase is successful as they expect it would be. There could be a second smaller warehouse that gets constructed. But overall, we've been reviewing this project for a while, had some back and forth and different negotiations with the developer, and we feel that what's proposed is a good project here. As you know, this is a facility, or this is, I should say, a site that currently costs the borough money to maintain. So now you're turning it into a productive use that will generate revenue for you going forward.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions? Being no questions, thank you, Anthony.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Okay. At this time, I'll open the public portion for questions or comments on this ordinance. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. Mayor, at the beginning of the year, I asked what would happen with the additional $20 million that we were getting from the sale of this property. Would it go to lower taxes? Would it go to a community center? Or would it go to paved roads? Would it go perhaps to restore the firehouse in First Borough Hall? And your answer then was, wait till we sell the property. So I would ask again, what are the plans? Every every good executive has plans, especially when you get $20 million that is unexpected. And what are the plans for that $20 million? Are taxes going to be lowered by a third? Or are we going to build a community center? Or all the roads going to be paved? Or
The new governing body after the first of the year will work on that question.
okay, thank you very much.
Okay, any others? Take a motion, Councilman Balka.
Move the public hearing be closed, the ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Balca,
Yes.
Polisi,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes. Okay,
Resolution.
Don, if you would.
We got open to the public.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to open the public portion for the resolutions. Are there questions on the resos? Being no questions, I'll entertain a motion. Council President?
I move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca,
On 2024-290, the Adelex bill, I'm going to abstain on. Yes on everything else.
Polisi,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Correspondence?
Yep, a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
I make a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Polisi,
Yes.
Noha,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
At this time, we're going to do mayor and council reports, administration and finance. Councilman Balka?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and progress.
Okay, planning and zoning, Councilman Zabrowski?
I'd also like to wish everyone very happy holidays, very safe and blessed time of year. Please do me a favor, also think in your prayers, all our servicemen and women that are stationed and posted throughout the globe, protecting us. I happen to have a son that's stationed away. Luckily, he has a lot of people behind him, but there are so many officers and that don't have family behind them. So if you can, send a card. If you can, send some supplies. If anything, just wish them a happy holiday. If you want to know where to send that to, you can reach out to Ken Kelly, who is for our liaison for our armed services, and he can put you in touch with someone appropriate. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Public safety, Councilman Anaho?
Thank you, City Mayor. No additional reports.
Public Works, Councilman Kalasi?
Also, a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to the rest of our town, and to remind those who have the basketball hoops still out in the street, take them in. We're going to be plowing soon. Thank you. Progress.
Thank you. Recreation, Councilman Sinarski?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas also and their families. I also want to thank the Recreation Department. Yesterday, we had a parade of lights, which is cool, a Christmas parade. We had a lot of people in the front of the borough. We had like we're close to 1,000, I would say. I want to thank everybody that participated with their floats and all their candy, and everybody had a great time. I also want to thank Saraville Police Department. I was involved yesterday with the Toys for Tots at the other section of Saraville, Morgan. We had a lot of people, a lot of kids. There was a lot of officers that were working there in the day. I was there 8 o'clock in the morning. There was officers there. The same officers were out in the Borough Hall here last night at 8 o'clock. So shout out to the police department for a great job for what they did, and the recreation department for their year. It closed out with a great event. Thank you.
Thank you. Water and sewer / environmental, Council President?
Mayor, I do have a few things to catch up on since I wasn't at the last meeting. So first, I just want to say it was an honor to speak at the annual Pearl Harbor Remembrance Ceremony at the pier at Buchanan Park at 7:47 a.m. It was the 83rd anniversary of when 180 Japanese planes fired on the United States Pacific Fleet. 2,403 American souls were lost, 2,343 of whom were servicemen. So I urge everyone to attend our veterans events throughout the year to learn more about our place in the world theater and acknowledge the bravery and commitment of our veterans and those currently serving. On brighter news, we have a new paved parking lot at the Borough Hall behind, close to the garden, but by the MacArthur Manor, all nice and shiny and paved, so all good things to come, which also brings me to some Environmental Commission highlights. The waterfront, want to thank Congressman Frank Pallone for the $1.57 million for the Sayreville Wetland Restoration and Flood Resilience at our waterfront behind Weber Avenue. I'm looking forward to that project starting. We have a survey for Bailey's Park on our website. On the homepage, please take it because we want to see good things happen at that park. And really, it's a beautiful backdrop with our community garden, the sign up, and all the activity that's going there where the garden finally found its true home. So great work by the Environmental Commission. For water and sewer, Mayor, I do have an update. We are underway with our lead identification for lead pipes in Sayreville. We have a lot of old infrastructure, so you may have gotten a letter in the mail about making a lead appointment. I attempted to make mine. It's very simple. It's, if you do email, it's lead@sayreville.com. And the first appointment they had for me was December 20th. So I think I'm going to be looking at the beginning of the year to make that appointment instead of getting through the Christmas holidays. But please make sure you make that appointment. We need to make sure we have cleared up all of our lead lines. And there seems to be a theme with this because we also have the Code Enforcement and Construction Office. We have contracted with a certified lead evaluation contractor. This is for lead paint. So there's a new program that we have to certify for lead paint. So there's a number of certifications. They're going to do our tracking for us. So if you're certified and cleared, you won't have to go through it again. But there is some information. You do not have to use the contractor that was selected. They're going to work with us to make it easier for residents who don't want to find someone to do this kind of evaluation. They're going to help us track it also. So there's a lot of information on that. I do want to say that along with the recreation yesterday, there's a sample of holiday events all throughout Sayreville, and it was just amazing. The Presbyterian Church across the street had a Sayreville Feeds. St. Stan's had their bazaar. The Holiday Parade of Lights, Elise does a great job. And a lot of people are doing some amazing house decorating. I just want to remind everyone to please drive carefully and be alert while others enjoy the show. So that's our little corner of Hallmark for our location. I do want to welcome Danielle, since I wasn't here at the last meeting. Welcome aboard, and I hope Denise is already enjoying her holidays in her retirement. And I do want to congratulate Stash and Mary for their election. I look forward to working with both of you again. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. I know that I have a lot to be thankful for this year, and I'm looking forward to a productive and successful 2025 for Sayreville. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. This time, I'd like to acknowledge the volunteer work of Marie Rittenhouse on the Commission of Aging. And also, I would like to acknowledge Sue Paul, who is finishing her 40th year as a library board trustee. A remarkable accomplishment, really remarkable. Thank you, Sue. Also, Kosmuski. Richie Kosmuski finishes 50 years as a volunteer firefighter. Truly exemplary. Both Sue and Rich, just remarkable people. Last night's parade, I thought, was terrific. It was what our town is about, between the kids and the bands and the singing. It was just really terrific. It was wonderful. So a heartfelt thanks to the recreation, the DPW, the Sayreville Police, and all the volunteers, and especially our own Elise Barone for doing a remarkable job as the MC. So With that, I will wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year, and I will see you in the new year. With that, we'll move on.
Request to travel received from Morgan Hose to attend a fundraiser for the Rain Foundation from December 17th to the 18th in Middletown, New Jersey.
Any objection? Glenn, next item.
Authorization to appoint Christina Capasso as Public Safety Telecommunicator in the Police Department effective January 1st, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote Mark de Guzman to Sergeant in the Police Department retroactive to December 1st, 2024.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote Laura Kriskowski and Carol Womack to Record Support Tech 3 in the Police Department retroactive to May 1st, 2023 as a result of a civil service desk audit.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Sean Jekyll and Leslie Palenko from Clerk 1 part-time to Clerk 1 full-time effective January 1st, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Stephen Gomblieski as a mechanic in the Department of Public Works effective January 1st, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Henderson Mortes as a police officer in the Police Department effective December 16th, 2024, pending the completion of all pre-employment requirements.
Any objection? Thank you. CFO's report?
Just progress.
Okay. Borough Engineers report?
No report this evening, Mayor.
Borough Attorney's report?
No report.
Thank you. We're going to open the public portion. Frank?
Thank you. Frank Terzino at 32 Canal Street, Cedarville. Christian, thanks for your service. Appreciate it. Last meeting, we didn't get a chance to speak on the Veterans Month of November. Just a short comment. I think we missed an opportunity to keep veterans as a priority for suicides, homelessness. There should be any homeless veterans. There should be no homeless people at all in this country. So I think we missed an opportunity, but we can get that down the line.
Which opportunity was that?
To
Because
make November,
What?
Veterans Month.
November's month.
We checked with the veterans.
Yeah, that's my personal thing. I think we should,
No, we checked with the veterans.
yeah, I understand.
And,
Yeah,
and they said, no, they said they were
Yeah.
more than satisfied with
Yeah.
everything the town goes.
yeah, I
If you have
understand.
a question or a comment that is contrary to that, then you need to contact the Veterans Alliance. That's the chain of command, Frank.
I understand. Yeah, I'm on the alliance and I didn't hear anything. But anyway.
Well,
that's
I
just
would
my
check with your colleagues.
Yeah. All right. But the main thing is we should always remember our veterans, whether it's a month. To me, Veterans Day is every day. Memorial Day is every day to me. That's how I live. But beyond that, that was just I didn't get a chance to say anything
You
last
have it
week.
wrong. Wasn't arbitrary and capricious. We followed the chain of command.
I understand. That was just my personal opinion.
Well, I would bring
Yeah.
it to them.
Yeah, I understand. But getting past that, I look forward to working with you guys in 2025 and make Cedarville, keep Cedarville great. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And that's all I got to say. But I look forward to hearing from you guys and move our project forward. Thank you.
All right, are there anyone else? Arthur?
Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delicate Lane, Cedarville, New Jersey. Christian Anoha, thank you for your service. I know you came along, you had run for the assembly at one time, and then you decided to run for the town council. You, along with the late Eunice Strumford, have been a great addition to the borough, and thank you for your service for that. And I'm hoping that come 2025, it's a better year than 2024 as far as the Historical Society goes. So far, we still have not heard anything from you about the building next door. That promise was made and never kept during 2024. I hope it's not the same in 2025. We've asked to be included. You've said we were going to be included. So far, nothing. And I hope the email gets better because I've emailed everybody up here, and the only people who've responded are Councilman Khaleesi, Anoha, and Bauca. So the rest of you better check your email and learn how to use it and respond. Thank you.
Jim?
Thank you, Mayor Jim Robinson, Parlin, Mayor and Council. I want to thank you for that very touching presentation you made for Councilman Anoha. Council President, I'm sorry that you missed it. Timing is unfortunate. Councilman, we first met at Sayreville Day in 2021, the year you ran. You were running with Eunice June4, and I had a nice conversation with you, and I thought you were both genuine and sincere. I didn't think you had a chance at winning, and I might have worked against you. I don't remember that, but chances are I did. But you and Eunice got elected, and you made history. And even as a proud Democrat, I was happy for the borough. Very early in your term, I watched a council meeting on Zoom where you and Eunice voted your conscience on an issue. You eloquently defended your position, and that position prevailed. That night, we also witnessed the break with your party, unfortunately. It was obvious to others on the call were so annoyed that you voted your conscience that it was the end of your relationship with your local party, which truly was unfortunate for them and for you. And many of us knew you wouldn't be renominated. Then in 2023, magically, you were elected council president. But in August of that year, the unthinkable happened. Your colleague, your running mate, your friend, Councilwoman June4, was murdered. I watched you endure. I watched you try to make sense of it. I saw you comfort her family. I watched you continue on and invoke her spirit and her memory. I saw you do your best under the most terrible circumstances to continue to serve the people. I watched the powerful, heartbreaking eulogy you gave and how almost all of your colleagues reached out to comfort you, to share their human emotions with you, to put political differences aside in that most sorrowful time. In your grief, you remained respectful to everyone, and you found comfort in continuing your duties for the people. In your 3 short years on the council, Christian, I've had a few conversations with you, and I have enjoyed them all. I saw you take positions that helped the people but were unpopular with political leaders. The one thing I know is that you took those positions based on your beliefs, your conscience, not based on politics. Over the years, you opposed the pilot for the Arsenal warehouses. You sincerely wanted to settle the bus depot suit and find a new location for the buses. You opposed the speaking time limit, and you talked about wanting to bring Zoom participation back. You agreed with allowing the pride flag to fly, and you defended your position to the veterans the mayor brought to the meeting, and you explained it wasn't an us versus them situation, that you respected both groups equally, and that there should be common ground. You were on the side of preserving open space every time it came up. You supported objective, independent thinking people being appointed to SARA. From that seat, you told the mayor you didn't like the conduct of the governing body since January, the way people were treated, the limit on speech, and that questions weren't answered, and you implored him to do better. From the beginning, along with Councilman Balka, you supported the historic designation for the first town hall and firehouse. Despite all the pressure applied to you, you didn't waver. In fact, in October, when Councilman Balka made a motion to give the firehouse a historic designation, you seconded it. And the mayor engaged in a personal argument, interestingly, with you, not with Councilman Balka, who made the motion. And some wondered why he didn't challenge Dan, but I think the reason is as simple as black and white to some of us. And in a brilliant rope-a-dope fashion that night, you got the mayor to say he'd be bound by the people's decision on the firehouse. So on behalf of 11,000 plus voters, I thank you for that. You know, the ironic thing is, had you been on the ticket this year, the Democrats wouldn't have been able to run on stopping the rubber stamp council, and you probably would have won. Probably would have been an all-Republican council. Councilman, I believe you've always been honest, sincere, and candid with me and the public. I consider you have been a friend, and I thank you for your service. I wish you and your family the best in the future. You can leave this council chamber knowing you always did what you thought was in the people's interest, which I hope will inspire others. Have a wonderful holiday and a new year of only good things, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to the rest of you. Thank you.
Anyone else? Being no one else, entertain a motion to close the public portion.
I make a motion to close the public.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a second?
Aye.
Is it all in favor?
Aye.